Believe me when I say this, that cross-platform mobile app and hybrid mobile app are not the same, and they will never be the same, and they are not the same. You might have known this. Basically, this is your first time hearing it. I am not shocked at all. I am not surprised, because over the years and presently, I have heard people, and I keep on hearing people saying that they are the same, mixing cross-platform and hybrid app to be the same. They feel it's just one thing with two different names, right? But no, it's not one thing with two different names. They are two different things with one name. Okay? Cross-platform is cross-platform. Hybrid is hybrid. Now, let me explain in detail. Now, hybrid and cross-platform, I'm going to explain the both together in one single sentence, which is cross-platform and hybrid application are mobile application that can run basically on the two OS platform, popular OS platform which we have, which is iOS and Android. Yes, and the uses one code base, right? Cross-platform use a single code base to run basically on iOS and Android. Hybrid does the same too. Hybrid uses single code base to run basically on iOS and Android. You don't need to write two different code bases. Maybe you want to write a different code base for Android, write a different code base for iOS. No. Hybrid and cross-platform uses a single code base to run both on iOS and Android. Now, you might be asking, what are you trying to say? Are they not the same, since they use one code base to run on both Android and iOS, and both of them still run on Android and iOS? Are they not the same? No, believe me, they are not the same. Why are they not the same? The experience is not the same. The development curve is not the same. The render engine is never the same, right? They are never the same. The process of development is not the same. The technology involved, they don't have the same technology involved. They don't use the same flow, right? They are not the same. Performance-wise, they are not the same. In performance-wise, when it comes to performance, cross-platform performs more better than hybrid. When it comes to compatibility, cross-platform has more native compatibility to the OS which they are running on than hybrid. What do I mean? Cross-platform can adapt basically fully without any breakage to iOS, and can still adapt fully without any breakage to Android. But hybrid can't adapt fully. Yes, I will still explain. Believe me, because I'm here to explain this very well in detail. Now, let's proceed. Cross-platform makes use of native component. And what gives you the edge to make use of native component? I'm going to explain. The technology used for cross-platform development matters a lot, and that is what gives you the edge to make use of native component, and why hybrid makes use of web technologies. Yes, hybrid makes use of web technologies which you already know, which is the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are the basic web technology you can use to build any website. This is what hybrid application make use of. Now, I will still explain. Let's go back to cross-platform. Now, cross-platform makes use of three popular framework technology, which is React, Xamarin, and Flutter. React and Xamarin have been there, but that's why Flutter is just a new guy in the building. And believe me, these are frameworks, right? Now, a framework has a language which is backended. And what are these languages? For React Native, React Native has and make use of the JavaScript language, which is number one popular or maybe number two. I can't tell, but let me say it's a popular programming language. Now, why React Native is still developed and being backed up by tech giant Meta, formerly known as Facebook. Okay, now let's proceed. Xamarin. Xamarin makes use of the C#. C# is being developed by Microsoft, and Xamarin is being developed by Microsoft, another tech giant, right? Good. Now, Flutter makes use of the Dart programming language. Now, the Dart programming language is being developed by Google, and Flutter is being developed by Google, another big tech giant. You can see what is going on here, right? Now, let's proceed. Now, these technologies and this programming language give it the full access to communicate effectively and embrace native component for render and for view and for functionalities. Okay, if you're familiar with React Native, you see that most things you import them from React Native and they are native components. They are not web-based components. Web has its component, which is the browser kind of components, while Android has its component. iOS has its native components. These are two different platform OS, right? They have their component. Now, this is where cross-platform comes in very performant, because they make use of native component, and that is why they are very highly compatible, right? They are highly compatible. Their compatibility is very high. You understand? Now, hybrid being making use of web technology have a lot of limitations. It is not compatible. It is not highly performant. Okay, because hybrid making use of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which is a web technology, basically is a website. Now, what gives you the edge to be into a mobile application? Now, it's being wrapped into a web view. And what gives you that opportunity to be wrapped into a web view so that it can be able to render into a mobile application? Now, by doing this, you can compile, you can build with Cordova, right? Cordova, which was previously known as PhoneGap. Okay, Cordova is there, and the most popular one is Ionic. You can use Cordova, which is popularly known as PhoneGap, or previously known as PhoneGap, or you use Ionic. Ionic seems to be the most popular and most used in the industry right now. Okay, now these guys help our website to be able to compile and run in a web view container. Now you see, now why I say it might not be 100% performant or compatible, it's because of it can break maybe phone size, screen size, kind of device of the iOS or Android. It matters a lot. The performance won't be the same as native. It still works as a web. Now, what does that PhoneGap do? That PhoneGap has a Chrome engine, like an engine, a web engine that renders that stuff, right? That is a web view. Okay, it still uses just like a browser inside a mobile app. Do you understand? So it uses a phone, a web engine to still render that website, but it works like a mobile application, right? But it doesn't have a mobile feel. Cross-platform application has 100% mobile feel. Now you've seen the difference, right? when it comes to the navigation of mobile application works this way. It renders screen on top of screen on top of screen, right? That is why you can move from one screen to the another without losing a state in the other screen. But in web, once you leave that particular screen, your state is lost. You've seen the difference. So that's not the simple truth. So you've seen that the web view kind of, which is the hybrid, is not the same with cross-platform, which is the native like development for mobile. Okay, believe me, cross-platform uses the native engine, right? It utilizes native engine, and that makes it work performantly, right? The only difference is just that it's close to native. Just that the only difference is just like it runs on both platforms, right? Now, another thing is that, mind you, that both cross-platform and hybrid have access to native API. Now, which of these two that gives hybrid the access to native API? The Ionic or Cordova gives them access to native API, just like getting device token, on your camera, like communicating with your device, your camera or speaker or any other stuff. Ionic can give your hybrid app that ability to access those functionalities and those features, those native APIs. Yes, it can give it that power. Ionic and Cordova does that. It helps the hybrid app to access, but nevertheless, it can never feel or behave or perform like cross-platform, because basically hybrid is a web application which was being compiled and bundled, just wrapping it inside a container so that it can run on the mobile. So I believe with this explanation of mine and with this long talk I've done at this point in time, I have been able to explain the difference between hybrid and cross-platform mobile application. So if you find this video interesting, like, follow me, subscribe, turn on the notification button for more videos like this. See you some other time. Bye. Stay safe.